Your business should fund your lifestyle, not run your lifestyle. This has been my tagline for maybe about 7 years, and it has evolved in so many beautiful ways. I'm so grateful for the aha, if you would, that my business was something that was a vehicle for my desires, for the way I wanted to do life and live life. I'm so grateful that I gave myself permission to evolve as a brand as my life evolved. The hustle culture and get it out the mud and go hard, no sleep, has been an energy for quite some time in the world space of doing business. And I'm so grateful to see a new inflection of doing business differently. I've also used terms like work smarter, not harder, things I've said for many years. It is the soundboard for me creating systems and levels of efficiency for my clients so that their business was not running their lifestyle, however, still funding their lifestyle. Coming from an industry, I was in the beauty and wellness industry, where much of the money you earn was earned by trading your time for dollars. I was fortunate to have reached six figures as a business owner or self employed in my 20s. And so, very familiar with the trading time for dollars and working hard concept. It is, where I came from. My mentor came up under that, but working with her actually shifted my perspective. At 35, my mentor had nine salons by which she franchised. The number may be off by one or two, meaning she may have had more than that. But I'm just going to say nine uh, locations that she franchised. And I remember when I worked at one of those locations that she was hardly ever there. And it changes your mindset when you understand that you're in a highly functioning business that the owner is rarely there. She came in to do trainings with us, and I may have seen her doing a client here or there every now and then. And I think that was just maybe to stay in the energy of what she was building, to be in the presence of the environment that she was creating, and maybe for a few special people. But it was so rare to see her actually working in the location or even at the location. And so that made a huge difference for me. And when I moved from being self employed to actual business owner, where I owned a brick and mortar service based business and had about 12 employees, I knew before the doors ever opened that I would have staff. And it allowed me another level of freedom to create more money, less my effort. And that has evolved over time. As a coach and consultant now, even the way that I do business has evolved over time because of my own evolution and because of the need that I see, especially for women. Not that I'm excluding men, but I'm a woman and I've worked closely with women and I see the many hats that we wear. And I've also learned how we attempt to run our businesses in these masculine ways that don't serve us from a health perspective. We just were not biologically designed the way men were to be able to function and operate at such a high level without it impacting us differently. I didn't say we don't operate at a high level because we operate in our divine feminine nature is a that in itself is a really high level. But the importance of us creating businesses that fund our lifestyle and not run our lifestyle tap into so many different areas of being prosperous and healthy in our life. For me, after my divorce from a 14-year marriage, I realized how masculine I had been operating because I did not feel safe. I felt a direct need to go hard, if you would. And understanding that that was no longer serving me and that I could give myself permission to do it differently was huge. Um, just that awareness led to understanding more about feminine and masculine energy. It also increased my desire to serve more deeply with clients, offer more premium services, and not have to do as many clients as you would. It changes the entire dynamics of what you're building and what you're creating. It changes your lifestyle. I have a organic vegetable garden. My routine that makes me brilliant allows me to really pour into myself in a way that I never done before. I get to focus on my health. So much has transpired that has changed how I do business, how I approach business. I used to go live 2 to 3 times a week. I have thousands, well, I don't know how many thousands, but at least 1,000, right? Of videos. And I'm doing math because if I went live 2 to 3 times a week every year for 5 to 6 years, I would imagine thousands of videos on different platforms that I've created. And the requirement for the way I do business now is just not the same. The energy is different. And so I wanted to talk to you today about creating a business that funds your lifestyle and not runs your lifestyle. One that you get to include travel if you desire, or raising a family and being connected to the family if you desire. I remember one of my mentors shared with me that so many people lost their relationships or the opportunity even to marry, lost their children to the industry because of the amount of time that they spent in the industry to earn money. And when I heard that, something stood up on the inside of me where I knew I had to evolve and find new ways of doing business that allowed me to have an amazing lifestyle where my business wasn't running it. And so even now, I have 2 productive rest months where I do no coaching, July and December each year. And I started, when I brought my coaching business online, I started that way. It wasn't something that I evolved into. I created my business model and concept around that. I would have my goal, but understanding that I was going to make it happen in a 10-month time frame instead of 12 months. That's all. And when you step into that space of expansion, your mind begins to expand about possibility and also about even the coaches that you work with, the courses that you take. It changes your entire perspective on what you do that is in alignment with what you desire. So I encourage you on today to create a business that funds your lifestyle, not run your lifestyle. Peace and abundance.